go ahead and find a comfortable seat. You can sit cross-legged or Japanese style. Today this feels, my body's calling for this. I don't feel like cross-legged, so I'm gonna sit this way. If that's too much, you can use a cushion or a block to lift the hips and relax it here. And that's my dog. Hope you can hear hope you can hear my voice from the dog's noise. So we're gonna close the eyes, try to relax. And whichever way you're seated, just try to keep a nice straight spine. And we're going to take a big roll with the shoulders, take them forward and up towards the ears, and then take them back and down the spine. Relax. Maybe some rolls with the neck. Couple more if that felt right. We're gonna gently tuck the chin, keeping the ear on top of the shoulders, shoulders on top of the hips. Totally letting go, turning your awareness inwards and keeping the focus on your breath. We don't want to control the breath, but we want to take deeper inhalation and totally allow the belly to expand, allow it to totally letting go as you inhale. And exhale, you feel the contraction, belly comes towards the spine. Inhaling deeply, then slowly exhale. Letting go of any worries, any tension. Whatever you did or didn't do during the day. We're gonna lift the hips. Come to stand on the hands and knees. I'm gonna keep the wrists in line with the shoulders, knees in line with the hips. I'm gonna move I'm gonna keep them here. If you have the blocks, you can sit the blocks at the bottom and then place the cushion or the baluster on top. If not, if there is no blocks, we're just gonna use this to create some elevation. So I'm gonna stack my blankets. I'm gonna place the cushion on top. I'm gonna take the palms forward and then glide it so the forearms are on top of the cushion. And we're gonna start walking the knees back. You wanna keep your knees and hips together and then slowly start pressing, taking your chest and the forehead towards the floor. Keeping a little bit of activation in the arms. And just breathing here. Relax, opening the shoulders. Another variation of this one, if the body's calling for, is to keep the elbows on top of the cushions and then bring the palms together and take the thumbs to the back of the neck. And then send the chest and the head down, and that just helps open the shoulders. And breathe here. We're gonna stay here for around 3 minutes. And slowly lift the head. We're going to adjust the props to the side. And come to lie all the way down on the belly, coming towards the floor. Rolling the thighs in, keeping the feet hip distance apart or maybe as wide as the mat. And I'm going to take my elbows. You want the forearms parallel to each other. You want the elbows either in line with the shoulders or slightly forward. We're just going to take the heart forward and up, relax the shoulder down. Stay here, and we call this Sphinx pose. And if it feels any tension in the lower back in this one, you can take the elbows forward, and that's going to make it a bit easier. You can also use a cushion or the block to rest your forehead. I think ladies joining us for this class. Allow the mind to relax, trying to find stillness. And then gently lift the head. If you were using a block, you're gonna just move it to the side. Take the forehead towards the floor. I'm gonna take the elbows back, closer to the body, tuck the toes under, and then push the floor away with the arms. We're gonna come to a child pose. Taking the knees wide, bringing the big toes together, sending the hips to the heels, then reach the arms forward and melt your chest and heart towards the floor. And if this doesn't feel right, you can use a pillow and lift the floor and use it here. And if the hips are not reaching the heels and that's just not comfortable, you can also fold the blanket and take it on top of the heels to close that gap and make some more space. So really the important thing is that you feel comfortable and supported in this pose. When you're ready, slowly lift the head, lift the heart. Gonna come to seated. And our next pose is we're gonna be it's a lunge. We're gonna be on the knees, so I'm gonna use the blanket here for support. I'm gonna bring the blocks, keep them handy. If there is no blocks, maybe a couple of books, or maybe even the cushions. Just gonna keep them to the side. Oops. So I'm gonna keep the right knee on the blanket and step the left foot forward. And use the blocks or the cushions, really anything to bring the floor up. I'm gonna start with the knee and ankle in one line, like so. And I'm gonna keep the cushions or the blocks so you can adjust the height, or you can take the palms to the floor, whichever feels right. And then send the left knee forward, tuck in the back toes, start walking the right knee back, and sinking the hips. You can adjust the height of the block. You can stay here. And just start feeling this on the right hip flexor. So there's many options for this pose. And I encourage you to take whichever variation that feels right for your body. So another option is to just take the palms to the floor, maybe taking both palms to the inside of the foot. I'm gonna tuck the right toes under and start sending the hips back, taking the left leg back. I'm gonna keep the left knee from tabletop. We're gonna keep the left knee on the blanket and walk the right foot forward. And if there is a struggle, you can just reach for the ankle and walk the foot forward. Starting with the ankle and knee together. Again, using the blocks if you need to. And I'm gonna start sending the right knee forward, sinking the left hip flexor towards the floor so the toes can stay tucked under, or they can go straight, whichever feels right. Different variations. For me, I like to take my palms to the inside of the foot and slightly walk the right foot up to the side. That's just what works for me. It says as soon as you start feeling a bit of a challenge, a bit of sensation on that hip flexor, you want to pause there. So the longer we hold the pose, the more intense it gets. Slowly tuck the back toes. Walk the left knee in slightly. Send the hip back. I'm going to take the right foot back. And from here, we're going to come to seated. And we're going to take our knees wide. And then extend the knees. And take them as far as feels right, as far as the body allows. And if you find yourself in this pose and you can't keep the spine straight and the body and the back is rounding or leaning back, then use the blankets. You can use 1 or 2 blankets underneath the hip. Or the cushions. And I'm going to take the palms forward. Relax the shoulders back. And the knees can be bent. And slowly start walking the palms forward as far as the body allows. I'm going to use the block to rest my head and the cushion. Trying to find stillness in this pose. And if it feels too much, you can bring the knees slightly closer if they were open too wide. Or maybe check in with your body if you want to go a little bit deeper. So if you're using a block, that might be that you adjust the height and go to the other adjustment of the block. Whenever you're ready, gently lift the head, coming back to center. If you are using a block, we're going to take it out to the side. We're going to bend both knees, bring them together. And transition to seated. We're going to come all the way to lie down on the floor. There's a lot of stuff here. So using the forearms to slowly prop yourself all the way down. You're going to keep both knees bent. And we're going to start by hugging the right knee to the chest. And then flex the foot, taking the right ankle on top of the left knee. Gently press the thigh away. Now if that already feels challenging, already feeling a stretch, you can just stay here. Another variation of this one is to take the left foot off the floor and take the right arm through and interlace all 10 fingers around the inner left thigh, and then hug both knees closer to the chest. Now if you find that by doing this you need to lift the shoulders and we're crunching or the hips lift off the floor, then take it a step back. Maybe take the foot towards the floor, because we want to keep the hips supported on the floor. We want to keep the shoulders on the floor. And a sense of ease. We're going to release the fingers. Take the left foot towards the floor. Take the right foot to the floor. And just take a moment here, take a breath. Recenter, refocus. And whenever you're ready, hug the left knee to the chest. Flexing the ankle, take it on top of the right knee and gently press the knee away from you. And take another breath, checking in, seeing how this feels. That's already challenging, or if you want to go a little bit deeper. And you can take a different option here. You can interlace the fingers around the right inner thigh, or maybe even around the outside of the shin bone, whichever feels right. Making sure the body's supported, the hips and the shoulders are relaxed on the floor, and then hugging both knees the chest. If you're ready, and releasing the fingers, take the right foot to the floor, take the left foot to the floor. And we're going to take our feet as wide as the mat. And first take a long breath, checking in with the body, seeing how you feel. And then slowly take both knees towards the right. And you don't need to bring the knee towards the floor. You can use something for support to have it rested. And we're going to take a few breaths here. And then slowly coming to center. And allowing both knees to go to the left. Using some support for the left knee. And then slowly coming back to center. We're going to come to our Shavasana. For this Shavasana, I'm going to use the pillow to support my head. I'm going to take the blankets. And support the feet or the knees, whichever your body feels calling for. Arms relaxed away from the body. Just totally giving your find the permission